To defend against the customer, contact information on the website is buried so deeply as to be nearly impossible to find. At every stage, the customer is confronted with a link to an FAQ page to encourage him to research their question online instead of bothering the company. All chances of an accidental interaction between the customer and the company are therefore avoided.
This is BOESCHLIT. Good morning, I'm Kurt Balderdash, and this is BOESCHLIT, your bi-weekly business and technology podcast that speaks volumes and giggles in small short bursts. But first, here's what's buttering our lutefisk today. Delta Airlines wants all airlines to share the names of unruly passengers. No mention of any oversight, or how someone can appeal such a decision, or how long such a draconian measure would last.
That's so stupid.
With airline ridership plummeting, would a few rolls of duct tape be better? China makes all transactions of cryptocurrencies and their possession illegal. Anyone found breaking the law will be placed on a prison barge, which will be exploded and sunk off the coast of Taiwan to demonstrate China's commitment to a one-China policy.
Ouch.
The U.S. seeks to regulate so-called stablecoins in an effort to minimize risk on the U.S. financial system. Unlike simple cryptocurrencies, which are backed by pure speculation, stablecoins are backed by real assets such as treasuries. The apparent volatility of all crypto could create a run on such real-world assets, causing potential problems. And the Fed hates competition.
Ooh, here comes trouble.
Apple continues its push on health surveillance, announcing future abilities to diagnose depression and cognitive decline. According to the Wall Street Journal, quote, using an array of sensor data that includes mobility, physical activity, sleep patterns, typing behavior, and more, researchers hope they can tease out digital signals associated with the target conditions so that algorithms can be created to detect them reliably, unquote. That's not creepy at all. Can't wait for this to be unveiled in Australia. The police will suddenly smash into your home after they've been told by your Apple Watch that you might be agitated and become a threat, just because you forced yourself to watch the last season of Lost again.
Yeah, right.
BOESCHLIT Technology News.
Moles are nasty little creatures that burrow through your yard in search of worms, grubs, and insects. They leave tunnels that kill grass and destroy lawns. Moles can dig surface tunnels at approximately 18 feet per hour. A 5-ounce mole will consume 45 to 50 pounds of worms and insects each year, and can grow to over 300 pounds and 5 feet in length. I'm Anita Martini, and we're here at the Mole Research Center in Berlin, and we're talking to Gert Verminstaber, CEO of Moletech. Moletech has developed tiny robots that travel along mole tunnels and search for the pesky pests. When it finds one, it moves in close and screams at him at such a loud volume that they are immediately driven off.
Yes, the intensity and frequency of the scream will easily drive a mole away, and hopefully out through a hole into your neighbor's yard.
Will this technology also work on other pests like gophers and raccoons?
Yes, it absolutely works on gophers. In fact, gophers being rodents respond best if it's a female scream. More of a shriek. Raccoons are a different matter. They seem to be attracted to so many things most animals are chased away by, especially smells. The closest noise that's worked is the sound of a shotgun full of buckshot.
What if the moles come back?
In the future, we will release a nastier set of countermeasures including Don Rickles insults, smells of cooking Brussels sprouts, and K-pop music.
Cleanup in aisle 4. Cleanup in aisle 4.
I just blew my nose and splattered everyone around me.
Some days I fear going outside and watching my nostrils flap like bird wings. But now, I can do something about it.
My body just needs a little kick in the pants for a healthy life. That's why I take Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz twice a day so nothing can slow me down or make my nose look like a flying bat. Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz comes in a convenient carrying case with compressor, flexible hose, and control valve with replaceable sputum filters. Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz is the only treatment designed to treat PSDN, a pathological spasmodic disease of the nostrils. You should avoid taking Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz if you have inverted nostril structures or have difficulty breathing outdoors when it's raining. Do not take Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz if you have a family history of too many uncles. Common side effects could include increased production of saliva, sudden twitching of the earlobes, or rapid changes in color to the forehead. Discontinue use of Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz if sudden death occurs. Ask your doctor if Ixkapabinabunolstuvwxyz is right for you.
I'm off to meet up with friends and have a drink without looking like a motorboat.
Poking the bear with a smile. This is BOESCHLIT.
Today we begin our two-part series on customer service, a company's first line of defense, and perhaps the biggest oxymoron of the 21st century. This is BOESCHLIT reporter Peter Dongle. Customer service. There was a time when that actually meant something. When a company would make itself available to people wanting to buy the goods and services but had questions. Companies used to employ knowledgeable and trained people to respond to customers' questions. Sadly, those days are gone. Today, such responsibilities are often farmed out to others in different companies and in different parts of the world. You may think you're talking to someone inside a fast food drive-thru that's taking your order, but it's even money they're actually far away, connected by just a computer and a microphone. So, how did we get here? In the old days you could write a letter to a company and they'd write back. As companies grew larger, the volume of mail piled up, and so did the amount of time required to research answers, which involved different people in the company. Many workers would get tied up until they respond to Mr. Richard Fader of Fort Lee, New Jersey's question on why drug companies are referred to as Big Pharma, but don't have any tractors or cows. Like all correspondence, those customer letters would be kept in a filing cabinet. Over time, storage became a problem with more and more letters arriving, especially if the company made a lot of customers angry or was run by idiots. If, however, the letter was written in crayon or by a malcontent shut-in, then it would be round-filed, referring to the wastebasket that was usually cylindrical in shape. Increases in correspondence necessitated the adoption of much larger wastebaskets, some as large as swimming pools. Thankfully, paper shredders showed up, but then the volume of shredded mail became so great that companies with trucks sprung up just to remove it. Typically, the materials to be shredded were first sorted into two piles, one for deliberately ignored correspondence, and the other for documents the company would not want Mike Wallace or the local district attorney's office to have. A later method of customer contact was the telephone call. Any customer could call a phone number to register their complaint or ask questions. The obvious flaw here, as with mail, was the amount of people tied up with answering customer questions. Because calling was so much easier to do than writing, the number of customer interruptions skyrocketed. Things went from, "Your call is important to us," to, "Your call is greatly annoying to us." It was then when companies needed to establish dedicated departments staffed by customer service representatives or CSRs. These departments necessitated more people, more telephones, and the invention of response sheets. These sheets were pre-written responses to common questions. Usually they were items like, "Really? We have never heard of that problem before. Is your computer actually plugged in? And, I understand this is very important to you. Can I put you on hold while I get a cup of coffee?" The initial goal was to match an incoming question to the most probable response. But as with any popular system, this became overwhelmed. CSRs started to provide senseless responses to incoming calls just to clear the current calls and get to the backlog of waiting calls. Some would use the ever-popular technique of hanging up, later blaming a faulty connection. This still works today, especially when a customer is calling a phone company about bad service. Of course, email is also used for customer service. It takes up no physical storage, requires the CSR to only possess the reading comprehension of a child, and can be quickly deleted. But this assumes you can find an email address to write the company. Nowadays, chat tools are used to interact with a customer. A customer must compress a complex problem into a couple of sentences, and hope the other person can 1. Understand the issue, and 2. Understand English. But often they don't. They see a few keywords and match them to a programmed script of what to say and do next. Never mind the nature of the problem. That's beside the point. Handling the huge chat volume is the goal, even if it's nearly all fumbles. Some companies still provide phone numbers for contact, since customers much prefer the illusion of receiving immediate help by a real human being. In order to defray costs of such an effort, companies use call centers overseas to route those calls. In that way they can pay a CSR $1.50 a day to answer questions without the need for accuracy or comprehension. As you can imagine, websites also play a large role in customer service. And to defend against the customer, contact information on the website is buried so deeply as to be nearly impossible to find. At every stage, the customer is confronted with a link to an FAQ page to encourage him to research their question online instead of bothering the company. All chances of an accidental interaction with the company are therefore avoided. In Part 2 of our report, we will discuss the future of customer service with artificial intelligence and so-called chatbots. Is the new customer service technology really helping customers, or is it just a new wrinkle on an old trick? It's customer intelligence versus artificial service, on the next episode.
And finally, Amazon has just announced their new home surveillance robot, Astro. The tiny 20-pound device looks like a small vacuum cleaner with an iPad stuck in it. Astro can move about 3 feet per second, and it can roll over floor and carpeting. It's like a rolling Alexa, bristling with sensors, a camera, and of course, microphones. Doubtless it will also read lips, so any attempt to escape its reconnaissance could get you locked out of your house. I'm afraid this is a special warning to all potential owners named Dave. That's all for now. Join us again next time. Different day, same BOESCHLIT.